Hello mortals, I am the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. Now when I was doing my top 10 fantasy series, I downloaded all the Wheel of Time book covers, which sparked some memories, and it's kind of a mixed bag. Anyway, I found a site, which I'll link below, which has all the artwork from the Wheel of Time series. By artwork, I don't mean the covers themselves, but the full artwork each book is based upon. These are the American first edition versions, and with one exception, which I'll get to when I get to it, all the artwork was done by one artist, Daryl K. Sweet. Also, I know there's a prequel, but I never read it because I don't usually like prequels, so I'm not including a new spring. Before we do this, take a moment and please subscribe to my channel if you're interested in more videos like this. And actually, let me know in the comments if you want me to review other cover art and which series you would like to see. Okay, ready? Here goes. Number 1 is The Eye of the World. Now, I like this cover not necessarily because it's the best cover of the lot, but because it's what comes to mind when I think about Wheel of Time. It's kind of ironic that the main characters, Rand and his friends, aren't center stage on the cover. It's Moraine, the Aes Sedai, and her bodyguard companion, Lan. Now, there's actually two versions of this, the outer cover when they leave Two Rivers at night, and the inside cover when they're going through town, pretty much in the same pose. Now, my favorite part of this artist's work are the backgrounds. He does it so well. But I always thought there's something a little bit off about the proportions of his human figures. Moraine almost looks like a dwarf compared to Lan. And did she really ride side saddle in the books? I don't think so. And look at how teeny tiny small her horse is compared to Lan. Looks like a little pony. Now you do see Rand, I guess it's Rand, behind them, but it makes them look like a minor character. Now I guess that's a shadow spawn flying overhead. And it's been a while since I've read the series, but do shadow spawn fly? The second book is The Great Hunt, and I like this cover a lot. It goes with the title. It shows Rand holding the Horn of Valyr, but who is that next to him? Is that Loial the Giant? I always imagined him huge, a lot bigger than that. And take a look at those bad guys creeping up on them. It looks like humans, and they're wearing these helmets with horns on top. But I wonder, are these supposed to be Trollocs? Now the woman, I believe, is supposed to be Lady Selene, who is one of the most kick-ass characters in the book. I won't spoil it, but she goes by another name also. But is it just me, or does she look like the Blue Fairy? The third cover is The Dragon Reborn. I think this is one of my favorite covers. I really love the crimson columns in Rand, reaching up for Kalendor, the magical sword, or Sangreal. Is that how you pronounce it? And the two guys looking on, I believe, are Mat and Perrin. Perrin is obviously holding the axe, but I always pictured him as a bit larger and more buff. And Mat, I pictured as having dark hair. I don't know if that's true or not in the story, but I don't know how the artist can do it, but I think he should look more roguish, more like an Indiana Jones type who's very young. I also like the face that's peering through the portal, which is on the spine of the cover, and the Isle look pretty cool also. The fourth book is The Shadow Rising. And do you see what I mean by the backgrounds? They're absolutely gorgeous. This mesa landscape, which is supposed to be the Isle Waste at sundown, is gorgeous. It shows Rand, who I believe is in the red coat. I'm not sure who is sitting down on the wagon. Maybe that's Mat. Again, not roguish enough for me. I just think Matt needs to be skinnier and scrappier. And is that supposed to be Moraine serving them porridge? Yikes. Number 5 is the Fires of Heaven, and I think this is supposed to be Ruidian. And I love the Arabian Nights architecture, the minarets or onion domes or whatever you call them. Nothing about this really goes with the title, Fires of Heaven. So you're left wondering why it's Rand and Matt, who is now wearing his infamous hat and that funky spear weapon, which I forget what it's called, wandering around aimlessly through the city. And I'm not sure who the woman's supposed to be. I assume an Aes Sedai of some sort. Now, the bad guys in armor look like an evolution of the Trollocs, I believe, that we saw before. Only this time, their helmets are kind of a cross between a crocodile and a rat. And it's kind of less clear if these are actually helmets or parts of their head. It's just kind of a weird choice. The 6th book is Lord of Chaos, and I really don't like this cover. Normally, I really like this artist's backgrounds, but this one just looks like a blur of colors, which I guess is a storm, although there is a ruined castle peeking out from behind. Rand doesn't look like he fits in. He has tight pants and a pirate shirt. And there's that flying shadow spawn overhead. And this Aes Sedai, it looks like she has a giant sticker of the Aes Sedai logo stuck on her back. I guess the best part of this is a broken wagon, which is in the back of the jacket. Not my favorite. The 7th book is Crown of Swords, and I am in love with the ruined city of Shadar Logoth. Is that the name? The midnight blue colors are amazing. I love the color story. The hawk humanoid, I'm not sure who he's supposed to be, but I think I would have remembered a hawk humanoid. Are they the drag car, or is it just a weird-looking Trolloc? I don't know. But putting aside the fact that there's no reason that Rand would have ripped the sleeves off of his jacket, what is this pose? Is this supposed to be a fighting stance? He doesn't even have his sword. I don't know what's going on. The 8th book is Path of Daggers. Now we are talking. The saturated colors, the gargantuan head of a statue lying on the ground. I love Rand leading his army, I'm not sure which army this is, with the Aes Sedai symbol made whole on a flag, which is a yin-yang symbol, and the Dragon Reborn flag flapping in the wind. Even the horses are outstanding. I love this cover. Bravo! The 9th book is Winter's Heart, and this is a winter scene, so thumbs up for that. I love the trees, the frost-covered trees, and the sunlight breaking through the clouds. And I think this is a Perrin scene, and again, I don't think he looks massive enough. I really thought he was this super buff blacksmith, but somehow he looks kind of small here. And why doesn't he have a horse, or at least have snowshoes or something? Now, the flag with the falcon symbol is, of course, the symbol of his love interest, File. But is that supposed to be File in green, riding a horse behind him? And if so, why does she look like an Aes Sedai? Because she's not. Now, Perrin has an Isle companion next to him, but he's hard to see because he's dressed in the same color of the horses. I think that's supposed to be Gaul, who I think is supposed to be bigger than Perrin. The 10th book is Crossroads of Twilight. Now, I love the full artwork of this, though you lose a lot when they convert it to a book cover, because they really crop it down a lot. But the trees, the melting snow, the vibrant greenery, this really does stand out for me. Obviously, that's Matt with his hat and his spear, and I think that's supposed to be Tuon in the blue. And maybe in white, is that Bridget? But if that's Bridget, why doesn't she have the bow and arrow? And of course, that's Tom Merrilon, one of my favorite characters, the older man in purple. I like the artwork, not so much when they crop it down to a cover, but this artwork's pretty good. The 11th book is Knife of Dreams. I like the background. The drapes, the tapestry, the lights, it all looks pretty cool. But again, I believe this is supposed to be Perrin. He changed into a pirate shirt, and the arms look short. He looks small. This is, again, a big, buff blacksmith hero, and he's just weirdly proportioned. Is that just me? And I have no idea who the large dude is with the red hair standing behind him, because it can't be an Isle because he's wearing a sword, right? Didn't the Isle refuse to even touch swords? This is a disappointing cover. The 12th book is The Gathering Storm. Well, I want that house. I mean, if it didn't have that big hole in it. So, Rand somehow has his sleeves back on his jacket, thank God, and he's raising his fist into the sky, showing off his dragon tattoo. But again, there's something weird about the proportion of his forearm, right? Am I right? And the title is A Gathering Storm, but there's no storm anywhere. And I don't get why the audience looks so shocked. It doesn't appear as though he's doing magic or doing anything. And I'm also not sure who this woman is, but it's the first time we've seen this Heidi outfit from this artist. So, meh. By the way, this is the first Wheel of Time novel written by Brandon Sanderson. The 13th book is The Towers of Midnight. And this is another artwork that you really need to see the full thing to appreciate because of how they cropped the cover. I love that huge tree in the background. Treebeard would be proud of it. The depiction of Matt Calhoun still bothers me. I think he looks too old. He's supposed to be this teenage rogue. I do like that they're in front of a tower, and I believe that's Tom Merrilon making some sort of mystic mark. So I like the cover, not crazy about Matt, but overall, not a bad cover. Finally, book 14, the last book in the series, A Memory of Light. Here we go. Now this is the only cover not created by Daryl Sweet because unfortunately the artist passed away before he could complete it. But they did get Michael Whelan. Do you know how much I love Michael Whelan? Hold on a minute. Yes, I got a Michael Whelan print. Michael Whelan, in my opinion, is right up there with Frank Frazetta and the brothers Hildebrandt. That said, this cover is all right. Now you can tell that Michael Whelan knows human anatomy and proportions maybe a little bit better than the other artists, and he also does gorgeous backgrounds. It shows Rand wielding Kalendor with Nynaeve and Moiraine in the background helping him, I assume, channel Kalendor. So it's a nice cover. I'm kind of curious what Sweet would have done because they show, I guess this is his concept art, but it's unfinished art with 3 Aes Sedai with the symbol of the Aes Sedai. They're doing some sort of ritual on a hilltop. Looks like this would have been pretty cool. Now, of all the covers, my favorite is probably The Path of Daggers. My least favorite, so many to choose from. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, my least favorite has to be Lord of Chaos because just look at it. So what's your favorite and least favorite artwork? Let me know in the comments below. Until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.